Hello, I'm Alyssa Ardhya, speaking to you on behalf of the IB Digital Squad at the University of Central Florida. I'm joined today by a special guest from Techtronic Industries. We're going to talk a little bit about the company and learn what the company considers important in the people they hire. So without further ado, I'm pleased to introduce Ms. Saul from Techtronic Industries.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to virtually meet you. As she stated, my name's Bri Saul. I'm a divisional recruiting manager here for TTI.
Thank you for being here. And well, would you please tell us a little bit about your company and what is it that you do there?
Of course. So Techtronic Industries, TTI for short. I like to say we're probably one of the largest companies you've never heard of because more so you've heard of our brands. So we're a power tool company and honestly more so an innovation company. We really focus on the tech side of our business. But first and foremost, we focus on people. So we have a leadership development program, and that really focuses on that business realm. So sales, management, marketing, operations, recruiting, you name it, we do it over here at TTI. And then really where I go into play for this, like I said, I'm a divisional recruiting manager. So I actually work in the North Florida region. So I cover all of North Florida and I partner up with 10 different schools across North Florida and parts of Georgia. We recruit really heavily from them, UCF being my absolute favorite because that is my campus. And then from there, I get to kind of hire the best and brightest for our company.
Okay, good. Well, let's start with this question then. When you're looking at a prospective employee's resume, what are some specific skills that Techtronic Industries looks for in hiring candidates?
Of course. So I think one of the skills that we really look for the most is going to be leadership skills. So for us, with our leadership development program, we're hiring you not for that first role, but for where we see you 4 or 5 roles in. So seeing people that have had different leadership involvement, whether that is in extracurriculars in sports or organizations or in their sorority or in Greek life, you name it, that is going to be a huge one. And then another one when it comes down to it is how involved they were. So that really shows their time management skills if they had a part-time job while being involved on campus and then also going to school. So those I would honestly say are the 2 biggest ones we look for.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. What are some other things you look for when determining that an interview is warranted?
I think, when it just comes down to it, it's their people skills, especially with what we do here at TTI in our first entry level role. You are speaking with customers on a daily basis. So how can people really just interact with each other? So we want to see, are they goofy? Are they serious? Can they have that conversation and they listen to people? So I think really, one of the biggest things is seeing that on their resume, their communication skills really with what they've done and how they're able to interact.
Great. And I assume you're looking at resumes, but would you go to a platform like LinkedIn to find people with that skill or experience? And if so, how important is a LinkedIn profile in your hiring process?
We absolutely love LinkedIn here at TTI. We believe it is so important. And I truly do as a recruiter. I think LinkedIn should it should have the same, I would say, hold as your resume. We want your LinkedIn to kind of be a nice match of that. Because for us, we recruit really heavily from LinkedIn, especially from certain schools and areas. So I would say it's really important to us.
Oh, yeah, good to know then. How helpful is it for a job candidate's chances to get hired to have at least one internship on their resume?
I think it's going to be more so dependent, on that person. If someone has 5 jobs at once, they might not have time for an internship. I think each person is going to be different and their involvement is going to be different. I think internships, you're really able to learn the ins and outs about a lot of companies and kind of your work ethic, but a part-time job can do the same thing. So for us, it's all about full picture, big picture, not just focused on one internship.
Yeah, do you take past unrelated job experience into account, things like retail or restaurant work?
100%, because at the end of the day, you think about it, you're still using that time to better yourself. When it comes to kind of restaurant experience, you're working with people day in and day out. You're trying to handle and de-escalate certain situations. So it honestly, all these different experiences make you a better business person in general. So we look at all different things.
Right, great. And beyond what's in our backgrounds, what are there other things that students interested in working for TTI can do to get their foot in the door?
I think one of the biggest things is just being persistent. If you're really interested in, in TTI or learning more, honestly, just learning. we have a fantastic opportunity to really learn more kind of about yourself in the business world. So that will really help kind of get your leg into TTI, the fact that you're so open to different things and really just want to be, I like to say, a sponge and absorb it all.
Great. That should help them get an interview then. So when a prospective employee does an interview there, is there anything you would recommend they do or not do to distinguish themselves in a good way?
I think one of the most important things is making sure that your communication is top notch. I think even when you're communicating, whether it's via email or via phone call or even text, you want to make sure that you're still being professional throughout the entire communication process, even if it's just a quick, hey, your interview's in 5 minutes, it's a text. You want to be professional throughout all of that. And then I think when it also comes to, interviews and ways to really kind of stand out, you want to make sure that you do on the company beforehand. First and foremost, that is so important to make sure that you really have a good understanding of who they are, what they're about. This way, you're better prepared for that interview and can really impress that interviewer.
Great. And finally, do you know if your company has hired a UCF integrated business graduate in the past?
Yes, we have. We've hired over 12 of them in the past year, which is absolutely fantastic. The IB program is absolutely amazing.
That's great. Well, that should conclude the interview. It was very informative. Thanks again for being here, Miss Saul.
Thank you so much for having me. We definitely appreciate it here at TTI.